I think that that is preferential treatment. Fundamentally, it is, right? Because I'm being treated differently in game because of something that's out of game. So I think that really banning people and like getting rid of people that are doing that is actually making sure that I don't get preferential treatment, making sure.
We see the actual reason why Zach Osmond Gold is that those people get a massive ego boost from defeating, not defeating, but killing a streamer. You see, the whole aspect with these MMOs that have non-consensual PvP, and I played a number of them. I played Lineage 2, and I've played Black Desert Online. Both of those games had non-consensual PvP, and they both had a bullshit system of like karma or penalties for PK people. PK means player killing, non-consensual PvP essentially. And they both tried desperately to to quail the problem of non-consensual PvP, but there's always a way around it. The player killers, while they became less prominent and less numerous, they still stayed around. You see, here's the crazy thing about that. Um, this might sound crazy for me to make this assumption, but like it's indicative of where we are as a species that this occurs, right? Because like there's no real need. Like you don't really get anything as as a reward from doing this, really. You really don't. I mean, other than killing Osmond Gold and like having like that ego boost, but like the most of the people that killed him got banned because the guy warned them 3 times to stop it. They kept doing it, so they got banned. Um, there's just this perpetual symptom of like shit kickers in our society, like these subhumans, and like I'm pretty sure if you met them in real life, they'd be perfectly normal humans, but like inside, what they're really hiding is just like this gangrenous monster that like it just hasn't had the opportunity to unleash itself in the physical realm, right? So like it goes through video games. But like if society tomorrow found itself in a post-apocalyptic, you know, landscape, and like it came down to the wire where it was dog eat dog type of world, like literally. Oh, 100% these motherfuckers would come out with guns blazing and their teeth bared, their teeth and claws bared. They would just, there'd be no doubt these people would do that because there's like the thing that we don't want to admit to ourselves is that psychopathy is actually really easy to hide. It's super easy to control too. And the only times that it actually gets like the only times that we actually see it is when it's like it's too severe for that person to control because like psychopathy is the extreme lack of self-control essentially. And so like it's hard to control a lack of self-control. It's like it's one of those greatest issues of psychology. Like how do you get people with a lack of self-control to control themselves? It's like one of the biggest issues. And that's what psychopathy is. Like it's got that factor to it. And so like, but a lot of people have this in them. It's like I can't. Most people will just go about their day. Like me, I can't fathom the type of mentality of a PKer, of a player killer. Like I don't, I can't. It's like it's just, it's not worth it. It's like to everything else. I try to like put my place in mentally, like in a place of a player killer. And I've done it once just to like experiment. And like I just didn't like it. I didn't like killing people, even if it was in a video game. I just didn't like it. It just it wasn't really a moral issue, not so much. It was just like it wasn't rational, right? It wasn't logical. It didn't make sense for me to like engage in that behavior. Because why? You know, just why? But there's many people in our societies that are willing to do this on a video game. And the only reason why they haven't done this in like real life is because we aren't there in that environment where they could come out and display that behavior out in the open and not having real consequences, kind of like they do on the video games where they don't have any real consequences. It's a video game, and so it's not going to have any real consequences that come back to them in real life. So obviously they're going to do it. And it's all about consequences, right? It's like you fear not doing something because of consequences. But if you just leave it at that, if you fear doing something because of consequences and you don't try to rationalize and justify the reason why you don't do it on a moral level, then you're no different like from an animal, essentially. You don't do something because of consequences. You have no moral compass, right? And that's what these people are. They have no real moral compass. They just don't do something because of consequences. And whenever the consequences are online and they figure, oh fuck, the online consequences is not the real world, so fuck it. Like that's what they did with Osmond Gold. They just said, oh, is it gonna be a fucking major ego boost for me for like to kill a streamer? Like, oh, haha, it's gonna be funny for some reason. Or these people are like pure chaos. You gotta understand. Like, there's no real reasoning. Like, I've dealt with so many of these people, so many playing Lineage 2 and Black Desert Online. So many freaking people killed me on Black Desert. It on Black Desert, I've been killed so many freaking times. So many freaking times on Black Desert Online. It's just I can't even count. And they just do it. I mean, they just do it to be a dick. It's not to secure like some leveling up area because there's countless channels. There's so many freaking channels you can go to on Black Desert. So many channels. And then like even if they don't want to change channels, okay, I'll come back and like they're already gone by the time I respawn and hike my ass back. Because in Black Desert, the best leveling spots are in the Black Desert. In the Black Desert, you can't teleport to areas in Black Desert. It's basically like this huge ass desert that you have to walk into, and like you get an active debuff just from being in it. And so like you have to bring supplies to make sure like your character doesn't die just from being in the desert. So it's got that elements of survivalism to it. But there's like lots of useful leveling spots in the Black Desert. And so like I would get killed and I had to like spend the time to hike my ass all the way back to a leveling spot. It was massively inconvenient, but these people didn't care. People didn't give a fuck. They just do it. Like this world has a chaotic system set up. You gotta understand. Because like in a just world, people who had that capability to just kill people like that, even if it's just in a video game, they wouldn't have the talent to do so. You get my drift? They'd have the ability to like put themselves in that situation, but they wouldn't be awarded with the talents or ability to do so. Right? Some kind of just God or whatever you want to have you be like, oh no, I know that type of personality. You ain't getting shit. Not with that type of personality. You know? But like that happens all the time. You get these completely apathetic assholes who sure make things better through like the form of art that they produce, but like ultimately just shit on everyone else. And you're like, how would the world look if these people weren't given shit because of their shitty personality, right? What would the world look like? Like that's arguably what we're trying to work to right now, is it not? You know, that's the type of world that we're trying to work to right now. Like where people like that, they go extinct essentially. They go extinct, and all that's left with are people who will actually use that talent correctly. Like I've seen so much atrocious art. One of the things I've been thinking about is like I want to be an artist to just make porn, right? I want to make hentai because I got this is like I go online and I see so many artists come close to the type of hentai that I like. They come so close, but they skirt awry for whatever fucking reason. It's inexplicable to me. And then I see so many artists that can draw women so fucking well. And then what did they have them having sex with? They have them having sex, quotation marks, with like a monster, essentially being raped, or a horse, or some other disgusting fucking thing. And it's like it's such a fucking waste to see an artist that has that capability of drawing in that form, having them getting fucked by that. It's like that's beyond disgusting to me, you know? That's depraved. That's beyond degenerative. And like in Just World, those assholes wouldn't have the ability to draw because they'd be drawing literal garbage like that. It's I would like to have like the ability to draw so I could draw stuff that was actually beautiful, right? And like these women would actually be having sex with a partner that was like equally as beautiful, if not more beautiful than them. You know, someone that they actually want to have sex with. Like if you had that scenario play out, you had this type of woman. Who would she like to have sex with? Boom. And it'd be like passionate and like creative and like I would put them like creative positions and whatnot, and they like be lovey dovey, you know, whatnot, and it'd be heated, like passionate, like oh, you could feel it come off the page, you know. I would do that just to offset all this degenerative art, and it's a fuckload, dude. It's a fuckload of artists that draw that literal garbage, and it's popular. It's popular because it keeps being produced. And there's that bias where, you know, it's like a fucking snake eating its own tail. It's like, boom, it gets somewhat popular. And it's like, but like they don't understand why it's popular, right? Like, you know, I see all the time people commenting on these monsters raping these beautiful women, and I hardly ever see a comment saying, gosh dang, she's beautiful. A shame that the artist has to fuck this up by having her get raped by monsters. I hardly ever see that, but like, wouldn't you know it if I've gone to like a manga that has a Shota protagonist, and this is like a male that's like small or like short, who's typically like it's the equivalent of lolly essentially. It's the male equivalent of lolly, but like it's way different from what lollies are usually depicted as, which is just like the rest of the women, which they're usually getting raped or you know pressured into sex or drugged. You know, a lot of Shota don't do that. It's just completely consensual sex between two parties. A straight Shota is like the cleanest that you will get. Unironically, unironically, usually, if like the artist is committed to like that genre, that tag, it'll be like some of the most straightforward, clean type of hentai you ever see. Unless they're like have this weird other. There's this one author that's really into armpit hair for women. Like the dude's always showing his face and like, you know. But like whenever they're not into weird shit like that, it's the cleanest stuff you ever see. But like, wouldn't you have it if you see those that like that I saw, like I explained just a second ago, so I can digress before I lose my train of thought. There's these assholes who comment on these monsters, ex woman, but I can't count on both hands because it's so numerous. The amount of times I've seen probably these same assholes come into like a straight Shota hentai dojin and comment about, oh, this dojin, this man is shame. This woman's like really hot. Too bad there's a fucking Shota in it. I'm like, what? What? Isn't that absurd? Because what is the Shota? The Shota is literally taking up less space than the male or than the female. He is literally taking up less space than the hot ass beautiful woman that these fucking mongoloid subhumans are commenting about, right? And like, okay, you're really into this chick, this beautiful chick, like that you really it's fine and learning. Wouldn't you prefer for like the male to be like less out of the way? Not like faceless and stupid looking like the fucking many countless hentai, but just make the male smaller. Just make him smaller. That's way he takes up less room. He's less in the way. You could see more of her body, her hips, her thighs, her tits, or everything. You can see more of her and less of him. But you can still see like the dynamic of him interacting with her, right? And so like you get the best of both worlds. But like these mongoloid subhumans want there to be like a big obtrusive man that's just fucking in the way with his hairy ass and his fucking non the featureless body. And it's like it's the weirdest thing. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It makes no sense. But I see these fucking morons in the comments all the time for the straight Shota hentai dojins. It's like this is good. What the fuck kind of brain disease do you have, dude? This is the optimal form of porn right here. The dude is less in a way. More of the woman's body can shine through and reel you in. If you're a guy and you actually like women, if you're a man and you actually like women, you actually like how they look, you like their body, you like their shape, you like, oh, just, oh, you got a curvaceous, you know, body in the middle filled with big boobies and everything. It's like, if you like all of that, then you don't want there to be a stupid, big fucking lugger, clumsy ass, stupid motherfucker with his non face in the way. No. If anything, you want him smaller. And if you're like me, you want that smaller male to also be beautiful in his own right, to complement the beauty dynamic. You get beautiful with beautiful, right? It's like my favorite form of hentai is like when there's like this really cute, kind of pretty, but not like in a feminine way, but like, like a boyishly pretty, cute little Shota having sex with a curvaceous and divinely beautiful woman. Like that's like peak to me, right? That's peak. That's absolute peak. 'Cause then like the woman's like totally turned on and she's like totally into it. And she's like making that face with like, with the eyebrows and furrows and like she's got hard eyes and then the show's got hard eyes and they just go for multiple rounds. Like that's like peak content to me. But wouldn't you know it, that form of content is so exceedingly rare. But guess what's super popular? Monsters raping women. Lowlies, lowlies getting raped by fat ugly bastards. Oh yeah. The same type of people that will look at that garbage are the same type of people that have this tendency to. constantly player kill, you know? They're the same group. They may not be the same person. Like the play killers might not also be into that type of war, but like they herald from the same kind of like demographic, you know what I'm saying? And what demographic is that? That's like the adherents of nonsensical chaos, right? Because like they were awarded the competency, the the talent to make this character powerful and do what they do simply by happenstance, chaotic happenstance. And like if this was a just world where that wouldn't happen, where we wouldn't have psychopaths that were hyper competent, you know, that wouldn't happen. That just wouldn't happen. And you wouldn't get Osmongold getting player killed over and over and over and over again on stream. You get maybe one or two assholes, they get banned, and then Asmongold would have done his stream as usual. But that's not what happened here. I mean, this is like 100% modern day planet Earth clown world, you know, scenario happening here. You have this disgusting garbage being the norm, being the popular, and then you have the beautiful and just and moral just like being dimmed to obscurity. This guy that runs this game had to like go out of his way to make player killing so obscenely penalizing that practically not even psychopaths want to do it because it's just like it's too inconvenient at that point. They fear more so the penalties than they have like more so than they like choose not to do it out of some kind of you know self moral cause. But yeah, that's the world for you. You know, Asmongold quit this game, and now I can only guess that the guy who runs this game is just super pissed.